Liverpool fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man, Sai. I have just released 3 videos in the member sections, my real uncensored, unfiltered thoughts on Red Men TV, on Cop Talk TV, and on Lawrence McKenna as well. Check it out in the member section. But I digress just a little bit. Today's video is on Brighton, the EFL Cup, Carabao Cup, our cup that we won last season. We are the holders of this cup, and as defending champions, we will rotate because we've got a double header against Brighton coming up. I will live stream the Brighton match on Saturday. It's a midnight kickoff now that British summertime has ended. But it doesn't matter because this is a channel with substance in abundance.
The cream of the crop!
And that's what we do. We're growing the best community, and I can name drop all of you because you guys are fabulous and fantastic. Guys, we are going to rotate against Brighton. Endo has been waiting quietly for his chance, but Endo in the pub, eating some grub. He's ready to bash some Brighton. Dunk is out, but without a doubt, Wataru Endo starts. So let's get into it. Now, what are Brighton likely to line up with? I think he'll be kind of Steele in goal, maybe Lamptey. Lamptey will be the key option at right back, maybe Van Heck, Igor, Estupinan. Estupinan was fantastic for the injury. Adingra, tricky winger. Baleba is a really good player. Baleba, I think, is destined for good things in the midfield as well. Mats Wiefer, right? Arne Slot will be very familiar with Mats Wiefer. He'll come in as well. Karol Matoma, obviously a direct threat from the left wing. And Ciso has a high ceiling, but he's still raw potential at the moment. And speaking of potential, will be Evan Ferguson up front as well. Young team, direct team, full of pace, full of flair. That's what I think they'll do. Watch out for Lamptey, Adingra, Baleba. Well, watch out for the whole team. It's a good team. With that in mind, we've got to go strong, but we can't go too strong. There will be rotation. So let's get into the lineup and look at what Liverpool are looking to do. And this is going to be a fun one as well because the patterns of play will be slightly different depending on personnel. Alrighty, so let's get into the Liverpool lineup. Before we do, I need you guys to understand one thing about rotation. As a manager, as a coach of Lucci FC, and a big fan of Liverpool FC and Arne Slot, the shiny one, up the shiny one. First and foremost, before rotation, before bringing the second string, before throwing away the cup competition, you got to try to win. You can't just chuck in personnel because they're fresh, because they haven't played, because they're on a substitutes bench. It's got to make sense who you put into the right position. Names to a face, names in the right place with a connection and chemistry for a particular game plan to win this game. Brighton are very good, very great on the diagonals, interchanging runs, last man overlapping run. They've got more Curtis Joneses in their team than we have in terms of the ability for the man to run late into the box and be the extra man for that attack, right? And Evan Ferguson will be holding it up and try to get on the end of moves as well. But ultimately, we've got to watch out for the runners from deep position. So with that in mind, what do we go? It's a tough one. Queeve Kelleher is our cup keeper as well. Yaros came in for his debut, did nothing wrong. We've got to avoid burnout for Kelleher because he's playing match in, match out, but kind of against Premier League opposition. I don't think it's a match for Yaros. So I think Kelleher retains his place. Because of the injury to Conor Bradley, we haven't had much confirmation. We'll probably find out in a pre-match press conference. I don't think he's ready to start after an injury, after a setback, illness followed by injury, which means that Trent comes in. He's our first choice right back and our captain as well. Now, this could be in place of Virgil van Dijk for the fact that Van Dijk plays almost every match. He is our captain. We have a vice captain on the pitch, and Trent better show his cojones as the vice captain, be vocal and lead by example, and have the body language of a winner of a Liverpool born and bred champion. Okay, Jarrell Quansah comes in. Quansah comes in because he's quality. He just needs an opportunity, and this is an opportunity to come back in the team and hopefully retain his place as well. But Konate has been immense. Possibly the player of the season for Liverpool so far. Now, Van Dijk almost always plays, but he was guaranteed to play on Saturday, and he never gets a break. Plays all in international fixtures as well. Obviously, with that red card, came back a match fresh. Could he come in? There is a world where Van Dijk starts next to Quansah. But I think it's either Gomez and Quansah as the back line, because still Premier League quality back line, and Brighton are mid-table at the moment, right? Or Gomez comes in for Trent and Van Dijk comes in next to Quansah. Now, Gomez right back and Van Dijk for Quansah. Now, Van Dijk for Trent. I like it, but it'll probably be this lineup because Van Dijk never gets a rest. Kostas Tsimikas. Arne Slot has huge faith in Kostas Tsimikas, almost always the first substitute on the left-hand side to give us balance. He's a technician. He's got great delivery. He goes up and down. He's brave as well. Kostas Tsimikas is massively underrated. For all this talk that Robertson is finished, Robertson's out of his prime, he's still one of the leading assist kind of makers in the Premier League, right? And against Brighton, to have the choice of Tsimikas and Robertson is X, and Robertson's not finished. He's just got done in by Saka, because anyone can get done in by Saka and anyone can have a bad game. Allow that out of the window, ignore it. Tsimikas is in because Arne Slot trusts him and he's a quality player. If you want to replace Robertson, put Tsimikas in because Tsimikas is a fantastic left back. He's really, really good. High energy levels, quality delivery, can get up and down, can join the midfield on the base as well, can cross some deeper positions, never complains, super popular in the back room. He's good enough to be a starting left back anyway, but we could bring in a left back because why not? Okay, so people want to rest Gravenberch because Gravenberch never gets a rest, but you got to understand how important Gravenberch is to an Arne Slot system in terms of being able to get the ball off our back line, beat the press, beat the man, be comfortable, not lose the ball. Curtis Jones can do it, Maka can do it as well. Szoboszlai had a rest last game, so Szoboszlai definitely comes in, but it could be a case of where does Szoboszlai come in, because he's not really a winger, but he can play right wing. He did for Leipzig as well. He plays in the 10 position, and you saw how important he was in leading the press when he came against Arsenal. He can drop deep as well. Wataru Endo obviously comes in because Man Mountain Biggie, the big man himself, Wataru Endo, the champione of championes, legend, Nihon Ichiban, Japan captain. Wataru Endo, he's good enough to play. He's really good enough to play. It's been unfortunate that Gravenberch has been in immense form and we've been winning the games. You can't complain. Endo is doing his role superbly, coming on, shutting up shop. In a congested midfield, he's worth his weight in gold, but Arne Slot doesn't play that way, so he comes into sharp shop and bring the kids through the games. Now, this is a game against Premier League opposition, a good Premier League team as well. Endo will have to be in against Baleba, and he will have to mark Adingra from the whips, and Mitoma cutting inside from the diagonal as well. Mitoma in that channel, diagonal darting channel, right? Endo has to snuff him out. Pang! Where the crosshairs meet, he has to clash and crunch Mitoma. He will do. He knows all about Karim Mitoma. But Adingra as well, Baleba and Evan Ferguson will be making those diagonal runs in and behind between the fullback, and we've got to watch out, especially this channel here, because Gomez is very well versed there, but it means that if he's there, he's there. He's probably in that position there, right? So watch out for those runs, and this is the back line that probably can hold out, because Quansah and Gomez have a lot of physical attributes, but they're not that dominant in the air. But luckily, Brighton are not that dominant in the air either, and Lewis Dunk is out for them. Maka starts in this one. He didn't have the best of games midweek, but the other metronome in the squad, Tyler Morton, he could come in, but I don't think Arne Slot has huge faith in him at the moment because he doesn't use him in the game. Now, Endo is a destroyer. Tyler Morton is more along the sides of Maka, a roaming 8, hybrid 6 who gets the ball and plays ball, keeps ball, retains the ball, changes the tempo. But he hasn't played Tyler Morton to date, so I think Morton comes in as a substitute. Who is the third midfielder? Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai probably is the presser of this one, but does he come in right wing? Salah almost always plays, and with the lack of Chiesa, because Chiesa won't make the game in terms of being a starting player, he may be a surprise on the bench, but he won't make the game. You pin in Salah here, and it's an opportunity to give Maka a break with Gravenberch coming in, but Gravenberch has played almost every game, and as a deep lying pivot, I think Endo is good enough to play ball, play easy ball, and this is what we had last season as the starting midfield. I think, contrary to popular opinion, Gravenberch needs a rest more than Maka, because Gravenberch plays almost every game all out. I think Maka, Szoboszlai, Endo and Salah. Left wing, Cody, Matis, Gakpo, because Lucho Diaz is our starting left winger, causes absolute havoc from left wing, and Gakpo is a prolific cup shooter, and he will be the one to get the ball a lot cutting inside. Salah will make the key difference in terms of playmaking, but Gakpo is basically an extra long-range threat, and Darwin Nunez will lead the line, because Nunez does need a goal, but it's his overall game that I'm so impressed with. And the impressive thing about Gakpo and Nunez is their inter-rotation. They can go in and out of both roles. Now, Gakpo in this role is more of a false 9 because Maka will pin up that position. Szoboszlai here as well. If Salah's in there, Szoboszlai can overlap around the outside. So what happens in this occasion? Gakpo will be the extra man with Maka on the outside. Salah, Gakpo, Nunez. It's good. It's good in terms of goal scoring threat because interchangeable, and they have that basis there for Tsimikas to occupy this space and half space there. Szoboszlai can also whip in a ball from deep, but you have so much delivery from the right. Trent and Szoboszlai overlapping as well. And the good thing about Szoboszlai and Salah combination is you always have a perpendicular line there. Gakpo, Predator, and penalty box, and Nunez are running the channel as well. Because I don't think Tsimikas overlaps as much when you play this particular combination, because Nunez is very well versed in running the channels, running diagonals, especially into the left wing as well. But something that's been very noticeable is Arne Slot has been running Nunez into the right channel as well, which is very interesting because that's where he got his 2 goals against Newcastle, starting the right half space being found by Mo Salah into the penalty box area on the right hand side, smashing it across goal. It's something they've been working with because Nunez was too predictable, always going to the left. That is a very, very versatile team that can rotate on both sides. Obviously, Trent and Tsimikas play very high up on diagonals because they're facilitated by Endo stepping up, and you have a compressed midfield like this. What you get with the Maka, Szoboszlai, Endo midfield trio is the ability to press from the front, so you can really push and pen them in. If Maka gets bypassed, or the ball goes to Maka and he tries to turn and gets bypassed, or to Szoboszlai, he can be a bit more risque because unlike Gravenberch and unlike the other players, Endo really can play close as a shadow player, as a facilitator, right? The intelligent shadow to snap in if our midfielders turn into trouble. Gravenberch probably doesn't need an intelligent shadow because Gravenberch never gets tackled. He's so press resistant. He's dominant in that regard. But Gomez, with his pace, and Jarell Quansah, with his young physical attributes, can, on the turn as well, defend high. And I think Tsimikas and Trent almost play as wing-backs in his system. If you invert Trent into the 8th position, and I think this is a position you'll find Trent a lot in this particular game because of the fact that look who he has to hit. Nunez and Gakpo, right, are threats in the air, threats on the outlet, and on the takedown as well, threats as well. Because as I mentioned, with that interchange, you spin me right. No, sorry, it's not a sing-along. It's football. It's football tactics. And Nunez and Gakpo can interchange very well, which doesn't force Maka on a whip, which is very important because Maka needs to operate almost between the lines to be his most effective. And Maka actually has a more consistent long shot with lower wind-up than Szoboszlai, which is super surprising considering his technique. But Szoboszlai is a little bit shot shy. Salah, I think, in this particular game, doesn't sit in the pocket here. He probably keeps the width more than he generally does because when you have Gakpo and Nunez as your starting 11 lineup, they will be the ones that float in and around the box. And Salah will try to find him on that space as well, but Trent is more likely the playmaking, game-winning condition if they go with this lineup. And that's a big if they go with this lineup. Let's look at an alternate world where Van Dijk and Gomez starts and Gravenberch starts, which could be the lineup as well. This is one variation, and I think Tsimikas and Trent act as wing-backs, with Trent going into the 8th position, dual 8 with a Maka because he seems more confident in playmaking and more likely to create an assist than a Szoboszlai in current form at the moment. Current form, Szoboszlai is an immense presser off the ball, but he looks a little bit shy in attacking contribution. This is a game where I think Salah stays wide. You rely on the rotation to befuddle the Brighton defence, especially not with first string. Because of Brighton's offensive capabilities on the diagonals, that's why I really think the wing-back system is so important, because I don't think Mitoma wants to go around the outside and Adingra wants to come inside as well. He's okay, actually, with Adingra in the wide positions, but they're looking to play on that line to hit Ferguson on a through ball between the centre-backs or between the centre-back and a full-back as well. And when you have Endo there to crunch it, this almost becomes a congested zone where the wing-backs can go in and double sit because it almost eliminates the midfield half, allowing you to play 5 against 5, which is an interesting ploy because look how much pace, power, and Tekers is facilitated up front here, and pressing nuisance, because Brighton are intelligent with off-the-ball runs, something to look out for. Now let's reset the board. And if we just put the key names here, we know Kelleher is in goal. So this will be Quansah, 100%. This will be Endo, 100%. And the alternates are VVD. Tsimikas will play, almost certainly. There is a world where it could look like this. This is another possibility as well. And it's such a shame because Chiesa would be starting here if all things considered, all players were fit, as would Conor Bradley. But Gomez is actually underestimated in terms of his crossing ability. I think Gomez goes higher than Trent on the whips. Here, we've seen that ball into Diogo Jota Slota. We've seen his ability to overlap. If Gomez plays, Salah does sit in the half position because you can't dominate from this area like you can with Trent Alexander-Arnold. But Gomez has a great short ball passing game. An alternative to the Gomez press is Tsimikas playing left midfield, because in this position here, right, Gravenberch covers the line. Endo is the roaming destroyer here because of Tsimikas in the gap. Van Dijk has to cover for left back here, but he can press foot in as well. Gravenberch is given the space to do his thing, with Gomez providing the width on the channel and an extra man in the 6th position as well. And Szoboszlai is given the free role. In this system, Szoboszlai is given the free role to place closer to Tsimikas, right? To receive the line-breaking ball from Gravenberch. And if Szoboszlai is given that responsibility, then he better as heck shoot. He better release the Kraken and the Rocket, because Nunez will be playing off the lines and looking to be slipped in. If Nunez makes the run to pull the defender away, the defender gets pulled away, Szoboszlai has that one gap to touch, hit, and bang. Because any spillage and Gakpo, Salah and Nunez will be diving in on it. Salah will be operating here, as I mentioned. Gravenberch will be doing his techers, his turns into this area here. He's actually quite adept out wide. Gomez will be sitting in alongside the sixth position with Wataru Endo because he inverted last season many a time, especially from left back. And Van Dijk and Kwanzaa is probably your assured back line with Gomez doing his due diligence in and around the area as well. Gravenberch, free roll in between the lines. Endo covering Intelligent Shadow. Soboslai can be a bit more risque because, as I mentioned, Endo Intelligent Shadow. He can back up Gravenberch as well, but Gravenberch is press resistant. Tsimikas will sit higher up, and I expect Gakpo to be the outlet, right? If Salah comes inside, Nunez will probably go out into the right. When Gakpo gets the ball around the outside from Tsimikas or from Gravenberch or from Endo, this is when he stands a man up, and he has shown the penchant for going on the outside and dinking a ball across, dinking a ball back post, or if he cuts inside, Tsimikas will overlap as well. I think Tsimikas, in the first instance, probably stays more in half space. In this instance, he has the option to overlap if Gakpo sees the opportunity to cut inside, shooting with a plum, or sliding Nunez in, or if Nunez goes into the perpendicular, sliding a Salah in as well. But I really want to see in this system Soboslai show us the potential he has at number 10 position to take those cracking long shots, to win those free kicks, to slide the through balls into Nunez, to show his awareness to hit Gomez on the overlap, to show his awareness to play the 1-2s with Salah and get in the box himself, to show the awareness if there's an off the ball runner, to make that late run in, to be the extra option like a Lampard. He really should be similar to a Frank Lampard, a Steven Gerrard in terms of getting those numbers up there, the late ball runs, the delivery, the confidence to constantly show his attacking quality in the final third. At the moment, he's a systems player. He's so much more than that. He needs to be a legitimate game winner because he has the ability. Now, some questions from the fans in the channel, in the chat below, have asked, why does he turn it on for Hungary and why does he not turn it on for Liverpool? Well, it's because the system is designed for him in Hungary. He's the main man and they look to him. He's not the main man by any stretch of the imagination at Liverpool, but he has an important role in leading the press. Against Brighton, they will need to be pressed, otherwise they'll pass circles around you. They can do it against any given team, and this team has huge potential in pressing, huge volatility in terms of balling 50-50s and junk balling the opposition because they are rugged, they are mean, and they want to win. This is a beautiful box, and I think on occasion that is how it's going to end up with Gomez given a license to go up and down, Kwanzaa covering Van Dijk, Tsimikas tucking in as well, and similarly on the other side you have the same kind of notion with Soboslai backing in that position. Gravenberch is almost like that as well. Nunez runs the channels, Nunez runs back, Endo will be mopping up in between, and this game relies more on patient build-up than a 5v5 bypassing the midfield as in the first line. It's always a different game when Trent Alexander-Arnold plays, but no matter which lineup, I think we have enough to beat Brighton. And imagine we do the double over Brighton, my goodness, we run into the fixtures that are heavy at the moment, Arsenal, Brighton, but if we turn them over and then go into Leverkusen full of confidence and turn them over as well, wow, we will be escaping this fixture list with a great result. But either way, it's probably the least important of games, but you never go into a cup fixture just dumping players in, dumping your Tyler Morton, dumping your Troy Ignoni. Troy Ignoni will play, I think. I think Tyler Morton will play as well. I think a lot of firepower off the bench. The bench is proper hench. But you go into win and against Premier League opposition, respect them, put respect on the players. It's still early season, they're not going to be burned out, but it's time for utilised players such as Gakpo and Endo and Kwanzaa to make their mark as well. And Ignoni will play and he'll show good things as well. You don't throw an Ignoni in against Arsenal, right, and ask him to chase shadows because you won't have possession most of the time and it's a pressure cooker in an away stadium. This is a fixture for Ignoni, as is possibly the Premier League game. And we have firepower in the squad. It's just unfortunate with the injuries because Elliott would have been beautiful here, as would have Federico Chiesa and the other players as well. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. The interaction, the comments, the likes really make a difference. Helps this video and channel get seen. We're growing the best community by far, the best international community. Join the Discord if you haven't already. I'm going to reward myself with a piece of kit. I'm running out of kit, but I love my kit. Alrighty, kit right here. First time lucky this time. Liverpool, white and red. It looks like a polo top. It's Adidas. Is it the former Adidas? Is it a recent Adidas? Only one way to find out. It looks pretty pristine condition to me. That's smart, isn't it? That's proper smart. I like that. I might be doing a watch along in this. And it's in great condition as well. Wait a minute, it's old school. It's Carlsberg. Carlsberg as well. That is proper old school. Okay, check me out. Red and white. To my delight, it fits aplomb. Do some of the Mbappe that. He's caught offside again. Did you see that Ballon d'Or scuffle with Real Madrid? How entitled and bizarre behavior was that? How arrogant were they to think they could win everything? And the 5-hour Vinicius highlight reel cancelled, for example. And Man United have given us terrible news with Erik ten Hag's sacking. Oh, well, we only beat them 3-0 next time, not 7-0. And yeah, let them bring in Amorim, the perfume dream. Doesn't matter. We'll smash them anyway. You can't get much out of that squad. I mean, you got Harry Maguire, Mason Mount, Anthony, Garnacho, Højlund and Zirkzee. Wow, exotic names. It doesn't matter. We have the shiny one. And this shirt is proper shiny. Smasher like 8,000 subscribers will look so good. I can't wait to get to 8,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, lots of quality content coming out. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this content, hit a like as well. Trying to get to 10k by the end of the year. Who cares? We'll get there eventually, right? So, Miyazaki man, Ichiban means the best. Until next time, Jana. Peace. Have a great day, everyone. Hit my music.
Liverpool fan in Japan.